Fuel to the top, got a filled up engine. In my thoughts, obsession. I will not stop, no, I'm never second guessing. I got a God complex. Haters love to hate, but I never feel pressed. Got a lot on my plate, but I never get stressed. I'll take all the pressure like I'm acing this test. Tear it up like I'm Jason. I see the world like it's ready for the taking. I see this place like a game I'm playing. Straight to the bank.
Salutes. Back again. Yeah, I made a video earlier. And I messed up on the video. I want to just apologize for making that video because, psych. Nah, the sound on that video was off. So I'm just going to remake the video again, and I'm just going to do the commentary. I figured out what the problem was, so now I'm back. I'm about to make another video that's going to be similar to the last one, but I went ahead and took that other video down because you couldn't hear any of the commentary from the videos that I critiqued. So that wasn't doing justice. So I want to go back and make sure I cover everything that I went over earlier in case you guys missed it. I hope this is going to be entertaining, but I'm going to go through, and this time, hopefully, we'll be able to hear the sound so you guys can know exactly what I'm talking about. So without further ado, let's get back into it. Let me go ahead and add this back to the screen. And I'm going to test and see if you can hear it anyway as well, because I need to make sure. All right, cool. All right, this sounds good. So let me go ahead and play the video and make sure everybody can hear that. And shouts out to this gentleman right here, Dirt TV Celebrity Media. He put this video out a day ago, and I'm just utilizing it for critique purposes to show that proper information wasn't put out. And I think the reasoning behind this entire incident was because of individuals acting out of character. Of course, the people that had the brawl, yes, they all acted out of character, but there's some stuff that you guys probably didn't know, and I'm going to hit up on it and go through and let you guys see what I'm talking about. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it. Make that big screen. All right.
Is crew from our little dinner.
Hold on, let me make sure I can hear it. All right, cool. That's good.
Cruise boat. We got off our ship to go over there.
Hold on. Who she's talking about? She's talking about the gentleman that got into the altercation on the pier. She said he came from their cruise ship. Again, she said he came from their cruise ship.
Our little dinner cruise boat. We got off our ship to go over there to move that black pontoon boat on his own because those guys who parked there were told not to leave it there, and they left it there.
But if he was on the pontoon boat, how the hell is he security for the pier? And I know a lot of people said it's because you can do multiple ones at the same time, or that they just thought that he was security because of the uniform. But that is wrong. This man is not security for that boat. I mean, he's not security for that pier. He is from the pontoon boat, just like that young lady said. So he took it upon himself to go to the pier on that blue paddle boat right there, a fake paddle boat that just passed by, to move someone else's property so he could park the boat there. He is the tugboat captain of the party boat that's waiting in the water for them to park the boat on the pier. Now, why is that important? Because I think that this was the reason why this directly happened, is because he went out of his way to go and touch somebody else's boat and move it. But not only did he do that, he also damaged the boat as well. And that's why I believe the altercation took place. So here we go.
To go over there to move that black pontoon boat on his own because those guys who parked there were told not to leave it there, and they left.
Now, as you can see, that's the gentleman right there that got pummeled later on in this video, and his crewmate right here, who is part of the crew that he was actually steering the ship that he came from out in the water. I call him Salt and Pepper. but he pushed the boat a couple of not a couple feet, maybe a couple yards further up. That's fine if he would have just moved the boat further up and tied it back down. But no, they went the extra distance.
Left it
They
there.
did.
So he's just pushing it off.
So you see how the boat stopped on his own without him stopping it? Because guess what it stopped up against? It stopped up against the motor, the outboard motor of this boat in front of it. So he untied their boat from the pier, moved it from that pad eye or that that hitch right there, and moved it down to this one. But instead of stopping it before it came in contact with this boat, which Lurch was supposed to do, they let the boat rest up against this man's motor on his speedboat. So I think that's the direct reason why this entire altercation happened. Again, I still believe that this is staged because just like I'm critiquing this video right now, and there was inconsistencies in the information. The newscast, they staged this, and the reason why is because they cut out parts of the video, such as this right here, that shows the reason why this altercation would have started, and that would have left a lot of clarity for motherfuckers because I don't think only white people will get upset that you are damaging their property. I think if this would have been a black couple and their family, they probably would have got on his ass too and probably would have slapped him up a little bit as well because there is no reason for him to leave his place of work, to go on a pier and to literally mess with somebody else's property. And then on top of that, damage it. Not only that boat, possibly the boat in front of it. Because if you don't know, these propellers and stuff like that, when they're out of water, they're easy to be damaged. They're only made of brass. They're not made of some galvanized steel and stuff. A lot of these boats, they have delicate parts on them. And if you ram that boat up against something, it's going to damage it. I tried to put this out earlier in the video before, but I had technical difficulties with the sound. So I'm putting it out right now. But look, there's people that put the information out, said that this guy was a lonely, peer security guard just doing his job. Even the governor did the same shit. They should have put it out and said that he was on the boat. He was on the party boat. And he was egged on to go to the pier and to physically move the boat himself, touching somebody else's property, ultimately damaging it, causing a confrontation that involved numerous individuals, not only on the pier, but on the party boat itself. So let's move forward.
That's funny. Took matters into his own hands. I love it.
Yeah, that's funny. See, he thought it was funny too when he was doing it, not knowing that people take that shit seriously when you put your hands on it. That's just on their stuff. It's just like you parked your car in the parking lot of McDonald's. You go in to get your food. When you come back out, somebody then took your car to the parking space to park there because they felt like it was their parking space, which, hey, by all means, you can say it's your parking space or not, but don't touch somebody's property. And then not only put your car out, but they ran it into another car on the opposite end of the parking lot. Now, that would be enough to make somebody upset. And that's why I think these people came out and confronted them and stuff. But as you can see, it's not all just fists of furies like they started the video on CNN and on certain people's channel, Bro Sanchez, also on a couple other people's channels. They mixed up the whole story. They try to feed the narrative, try to make it seem like this guy was a security guard doing his job, like his job was actually to dock boats, to dock boats onto the pier. That's not his job. He's a riverboat captain. He should have just stuck to that and let the crew deal with it or security. All he had to do was just call the police and tell them, hey, we got a private boat out here parked in a public space where the riverboat's supposed to be parked, and he refuses to move. They would have brung their happy ass out there, and they would have wrote them a citation, even towed their boat if they had to. Now, instead of doing that, no, he took it into his hands. I don't think the true story came out, because if it did, people would have a different opinion on how this shit kicked off, let alone whether or not somebody should have got their ass kicked. Because we can't be two-faced about this. I know how people feel about their property. And if you over there touching somebody else's shit, not only touching it, moving it, not only moving it and touching it, you damaging it, yeah, that's reason for an ass whooping. So I think this gentleman right here kicked this entire situation off. His partner, Salt and Pepper right here, they jumped into action when they saw that the boat was being blocked. And then on top of that, he only moved this boat one pad eye down from the other. And that's enough space to let the riverboat get in. Man, if that's all the space it took for the riverboat to get in, man, they should have just parked that bitch right up against the pier. And if it would have hit this boat, let it be. See, but no, nobody's thinking. Cooler minds should have prevailed. But no, they were just following the crowd, listen to everybody in the background talking about some move, bitch, get out the way. You see what I'm talking about? Look how he told Lurch, finish tying that down. See, this is what I call being a peer bully. See, when you work for the boating industry, you got people that like to push their weight around. See, earlier in the video or earlier this week when everybody was showing the video, all they was showing was this man being pushed around. They ain't show this part right here, what this man was doing with somebody else's property. I don't know if you guys have dealt with boats, but these boats are not cheap, especially the pontoon boats. The engines, the hulls, even the seats and stuff like that cost a lot of money. And when somebody just take it upon themselves to take your property and do whatever they want to do with it, and not only that, damage it, then damn, man, that's cause for some fucking retaliation, man.
Please give him a big old ticket.
Now look, when I first saw this part right here, I thought it was gonna kick off. I thought fights on. But guess what? Watch this situation right here.
Ooh, confrontation with the owner of the boat.
Look at this. Now, I understand tempers are rising, but come on, man. There was no agitation with this. As well, you're gonna see he's gonna come in contact with some other people. Yeah, they had heated words, but guess what? Cooler heads at the time prevailed. Plus, we got Lurch right there. He's about 6'3", and he should have been enough intimidation for little man right here that he should have just moved on, which he did. So hey, let's move on too. Now here go Pretty in Pink. This gentleman right here, he came running down because he was gonna lend some support. But hey, I think that this guy right here was chastised by another gentleman that came down, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Now look, this is a gentleman that came running down and dove on his head like a spider monkey and was and caused most of the commotion and brought him to the ground and had to be pulled up off of him, and at the same time he was being struck. But hey, man, right now it looks like he got away with damaging these people's goods, and now all he's doing is just talking shit to them, telling them they shouldn't have been there. Lurch is standing by because he's like the temporary, deterrence and shit. He's like, yeah, you guys were in the wrong. But this commentary is not what actually happened. Let's go ahead and move on. And look, he was clapping in his face too. That man walked away. So they wasn't that drunk. They knew exactly what was going to happen. But they were intending to jump on his ass. But he's still egging it on and provoking it. They weren't intending on jumping on this man's ass, not until the owner of that boat came down and found that it was damaged. All right, now let's show context. Now, if you didn't realize, this is a young man that they call Aqualad or Shaquille O'Gills. He was the one that dove off the boat and swove into and swam in the shore. Now, if they knew that the riverboat captain had left, why didn't they go to the shore with him? Because you know why? They weren't willing to go over there and do a little extra labor. But when he started getting his ass beat for doing something that he shouldn't have done in the first place, now we kick in the action to become superheroes. And we go over there and we start saving the day. But in actuality, what we did was we jumped to conclusions. And if there was anybody else on the pier that was watching, they should have saw that that shit was escalated by the individual that touched somebody else's stuff. And that's how it works. We got a celebrity appearance. Motherfucker, Bernie Mac in the house. Salutes Bernie Mac, RIP. Hey, so look, see how he's pointing at the crowd? You know why? Because he's putting on a show. He's telling them, they all watching you, man. But this gentleman right here, he's on the opposite end of the pier. He's trying to de-escalate this shit. Watch why I say this. Because he's going to go grab Pretty in Pink and he's going to pull him back down to the ship. And you can tell that he had control over that young man. And if it would have never escalated, if these two would have just left and went back to the boat where they belong now, the boat is still out in the water without a captain, because the captain is on the pier being a boatswain mate when he's supposed to be a captain. Captain's supposed to give orders, not out on the pier doing manual labor. Look, it looks like it's gonna kick off right now, right? But no, still no confrontation. Watch. He walks totally right by him. There's no confrontation. So, hey, motive is what? Motive operandi. They didn't have no motive to get this dude at the time, so they didn't. But wait until motive comes. Wait until somebody sees the damage that was done to their boat. Now you see him push Pretty in Pink in the chest, because that's probably Pops. And Pops is like, didn't I tell you not to bring your drunk ass down here? Get your ass back down to the boat. And see, this right here shows that these people were trying to de-escalate this shit. But at the end of the movie, you're going to see that they get targeted after the boat gets pulled in because they weren't fast enough to get out of Dodge. And hey, by all means, man, fair game. But look, at the same time, we need to take in consideration that this entire incident started because of who? Because of this man right here. Because he didn't want to keep his hand off people's property and shit. And on top of that, he's damaging shit. So look, he's telling him, you need to get that shit and move it. Move it out the way. But no, that's not enough. He hit a chance out there, so now he gonna get even more hype and shit. See, this is how shit escalates, and this is why we shouldn't have incompetent people in these positions of authority, because they don't know how to stay in their lane. He should have been on that boat, sending somebody else over there that had cooler heads, that wouldn't touch somebody else's shit, wouldn't touch somebody's shit like they know better to do. But no, he took it upon himself to leave his job. You know what I think? Whoever gave him knows that the idea to lead a boat need to be fired, as well as him, as well as the gentleman that jumped in the water too, to go over there and do some WWE fighting style moves and shit. I think that these guys need to have something happen to them as well, because this shit would have never happened. What if somebody would have got hit and fell and hit their head on this dog right here, or what they call a pad eye, where you tie the boat down and bled out? Then they would have been talking about we weren't trying to do it. So we need to treat this as if somebody actually got seriously hurt and hold all parties accountable, man, because that's the right thing to do. Not just raise bait and take the side of the person that we consider the victim when they are the actual initiators. This clown right here and this clown right here, who was lied about saying that he was a security guard, but he's actually the riverboat captain, acting like he a thug on the pier. So far right now, ain't nobody got into no fisticuffs. So we just gonna stand by and watch. How is he the captain, the riverboat captain, and he on the pier? Not where he's supposed to be working at, see? But he on the pier giving hand gestures and touching other people's property that he ain't supposed to be touching. See, this shit is not right, man. We know this shit ain't right, but we'll still take the side of him because we don't care what happens. If it involves a black person and another person that's not black, we're going to always stick with them. But at some point, man, we need to say what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. Yeah, they attacked him. They got arrested for that shit. But some repercussion needs to fall up on this here riverboat captain, this Alabama riverboat captain, because these people are looked at as victims. If you're gonna lie about being a victim, then you don't need to have any victimization rewards. You don't need to be publicized like you are the victimless. That was a victimless act that you didn't do, or that you did that didn't cause these people to jump on you. See, there's nobody there for him to argue with. He already moved a boat. He got away pretty much with grand boat larceny and shit because he disconnected a boat without their permission and he moved it. He even damaged the boat by pushing it up on the other one. Nobody's there. He could just walk away and go back to the boat and nobody be the wiser. They just have to take it up with staff later on. But no, he stuck around for what? For the show. See? He stuck around for the show. And this is why we should make sure that people don't be able to start shit and then become the victim later on. Because we'll say that shit about other people, other races and stuff. So we need to hold ourselves accountable as well. Because this shit right here shouldn't have been overlooked. This shouldn't have been overlooked. It wouldn't have never been a confrontation if he would have never touched their shit. I believe that wholeheartedly. Now look, this is a gentleman that initially spider punched him at the beginning of the brawl. He's talking to the gentleman. Now he's telling the gentleman, hey, I moved your boat. Yeah. Now what? Get the shit out the way. You know what I'm saying? Just like the crowd. Move, bitch, get your shit out the way. But this gentleman has not freaking aggressed on him yet. He has not done anything to him. He's just coming down. And I take it back. These gentlemen were not drunk. They just were awkward fighters. They looked like they were drunk. But he came down to the pier to check it out. He didn't come down with no hostility towards this guy. But look at the body movements and gestures, of the so-called victim.
You got to see this man move the fuck out the way. There you go. Get out now. Go now. Yeah, nigga, they don't want to move. That is now throw the block in. All right, I'm in.
Look like a pretty reasonable conversation right here, right? Look like a pretty reasonable conversation from the attacker, the racist attacker, to the gentleman that was supposed to be the black victim, the non-racist victim. All right, but look, check this out. Pretty in Pink right here is being escorted by his pop with what? His hand on his head. So that tells you right there, this man trying to de-escalate anything that's going to happen, and he's going to send them back down there. But when they find out that their boat was damaged because of his bullshit, that's when it's going to get heated, and he's going to attack him. He's going to drop the calm facade, and he's going to attack him. Look how you escorting him. Don't even look at it. You know what I'm saying? Get your ass back down to the boat. See how he's doing it? Get back down to the boat. Now here comes Tubby on here. He's a glutton for punishment, but he just comes down here. And the only thing he did wrong, because he ain't throw a punch at nobody. The only thing he did wrong was wearing a shirt too big and some pink pants with an X on it. That's all he did wrong, man. Other than that, he shouldn't have never been tormented the way he was when that young man came down there and gave him the people's elbow and the body slam. So I think that this video right here shows that we are quick to jump to conclusions without knowing all the information, and we do it because we're looking at race, and that's not right, man. And we trying to say that we've been discriminated against. We can't be the discriminators. You can't be the victim and the aggressor at the same time. But we do this shit more than a little bit. This man considered himself the victim. He ain't came out once and said that, yeah, they beat on me. But look, he's saying he's the victim, but at the same time, he's the one that put his hands on their stuff. He was the aggressor.
Oh my dog. I ain't gonna do nothing but go around and I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna say one more thing. No, we do for y'all, baby. It's over.
Still, no aggression, right? Not until after this little clap session right here.
How can we contact?
All right, I'm not gonna do this shit like I did last time. I'm gonna go through. This is still fair use, YouTube.
I'm your host, Baritone. It's dirty anyway. Personally, L-Tap has found himself in hot water after it hits a little close to home, literally. Multiple viral clips show a group of white men seemingly arguing with a black security.
See, there he go with the black security guard shit. See how we mischaracterize shit because we don't do homework to find out that this was actually the riverboat captain that should have been on the boat, but he came back over there and he got jumped because he was fucking with somebody else's property. We start the video off right here. Now, I thought Dirt was going to go and he was going to go in and explain it, but no, he went right into the buffoonery too. And by all means, the man gets his props. But but I'm just critiquing the video. No harm, no foul.
Security guard who was attacked by two other white men. Now, in case you're wondering and haven't heard about the story, surely that one part.
And this dude right here, come to find out, he beating on this woman and hitting people with chairs because somebody from who he thought was a victim was the actual initiator.
Should probably tell you what the significance of the story is. The fight took place just inches away from the water after the security guard informed the group to move their boat that was blocking another.
Again, wrong. He wasn't the security guard. He was the actual party boat captain who should have been on his ship. What happened to going down with the ship? No, he going off the ship to try to make a spectacle out of somebody else's shit. But at the same time, if you can see how much space it's between this boat and this line right here, right there is the other boat. Now watch how he pushes the boat. He does not stop the boat. The boat stops when it hits the other boat.
From trying to park. That was all it was about. Things escalated, however, and they proceeded to jump the security guard until a number, and I do mean a number, you'll see, of black males ran to the fight.
See, this is why I say shit staged. Because why cut out the fact that he was pushing that boat up there? It was on the beginning of it. It was played at the beginning. Here it is right here.
Hands, I love it. To move that black pontoon boat on his own because those guys who parked there were told not to leave it there and they left it there. So he's just pushing it off. That's fun.
After the boat, look, after the boat touched down the boat, he tied it down. That's the whole reason why this shit happened.
And if you ain't seen what they've been calling this man, Michael Jatavius or whatever, Phelps, I'm not gonna lie. There ain't a whole lot that I find funny about anything that leads to violence.
Yeah, these guys, they made a good meme. Shouts out to them dudes. They making fun of it because it is stupid and it was blown out of proportion in the first place.
Love it. You become a hypocrite real quick. I don't like them. Celebrity status and his family show the Wayans brothers. Because for some odd reason, that's kind of what some of us tend to do also. We tend to use stuff like that, even though we wouldn't want people to do it to us.
Hold on, let me check the sound. All right, cool.
You see the hypocrisy of it? That's why I'm against a lot of it. You become a hypocrite real quick. I don't like them. Anyway, here's some of what some people had to say. The YT men, white, not YouTube, not us. The YT men started the fight. Let's not blame the reaction. This ain't the turn the other cheek era. Is it not, though? Is it not?
See? No context, because when you show parts of the video, but you don't show the whole thing, and the whole premise behind the reaction is from a video, then you are setting yourself up for this type of response. Because these guys that are saying the white T-man actually started the fight is wrong, idiot. Look at the whole video. And I hate to call you idiot, but that's what you are when you just make a statement like that going off another idiot video when it's been edited.
Marlon, shut up, another says, respectfully. Now is not the time to be a token ninja. We not in the mood.
See, look how they already trying to get on that man. Maybe Marlon saw the whole video, but he didn't want to say. But I see the whole video, and I don't give a damn. You can call me a token nigga all you want, because what's right is right. I don't give a fuck what color you is. If you touch my shit and it gets damaged, I'm gonna expect some payback. And if you ain't got the payback right then, we're gonna just take a chunk out your ass. But look, what they should have did right here in this situation, they had already did the dirt. Fucking Salt and Pepper should have just walked off and left Pretty in Pink there to pick up the pieces, but they didn't. They stuck around for the ass whooping. That's why I think it's staged. And they putting it on the news. They cutting and pasting the motherfucking video anyway. So that stages it anyway. That's a staged event. I don't care if the people was in a real fight or not. If you can't show the whole footage, I don't want part of a lie.
Who is we? You don't speak for all of us either. You see how you can take it and turn it against people, turn their words against them no matter.
Hold on, let's go back. There go the gentleman, the young man that was supposedly the superhero. He was part of the crew. So he wasn't just taught that. He saw his buddy getting into a fight. And see, this is how people start to become these glorified heroes off of a lie, because they watched the whole thing. They watched him go over there and do that to that man's boat, and then decided to take the side of him because he was getting his ass whooped. Hey, if you was jumping in because you knew that he was innocent, cool. But if you jumping in to defend somebody who's doing wrong, you just as wrong as them. You just as wrong as them. But hey, if you can go down with the ship too as well. That's how they do it, man. That's how they do it. Motherfuckers will double down on the wrongness just to get a point across and just to seem like they fair and transparent. But that's cold, man. You shouldn't be doing shit like that. You got a bunch of innocent people up in here looking at these videos and listen to your commentary and expecting the truth, and you over here feeding them lies. You spoon feeding them these lies and race baiting with them.
Words against them no matter which side you on. Yeah.
Shouts out celebrity to Bernie Mac. Motherfucker.
Y'all do that sometimes too. Don't think I don't be singing that. Looking for a pat on the head from the masters. You should be quiet and sit this one out, says another.
See? They love throwing that shit in your face like that when you want to do right, regardless of how it looks. We should be doing right in the dark and in the light. We should be doing dark when people ain't watching. I mean, we should be doing right when people ain't watching, and we should also be doing right when people are watching. In this case, it didn't happen at all, because this man sit up there and let everybody cheer him on to go do some shit that could possibly be illegally. You know what I'm saying? Touching somebody's boat, in some cases, might be considered grand theft, or, you know, stealing somebody's submersible. Now, if you can go to jail for being on private property, what can you go to jail for? Touching somebody's private property, and on top of that, damaging it? So we should look at shit more closely and stop polarizing it. But hey, it's gonna take people that's willing to stand up and take the criticism to point out these jackasses for causing all this trouble, and then on top of that, standing by and not speaking up and saying that it was wrong.
Meanwhile, others had more comical reactions to the viral fight, including Plies, who joked about what he would have done to protect the security guard himself. See if you get a kick out of this one. Well, different videos, and there are several different ones. If you ain't checked them all out, well, I don't even want to advise you to in some ways. But either way, the point is, most begin with this.
Look, he's still trying to calm the situation down. This man right here, who brutally gets attacked in the second brawl, well, in the third brawl, because the first brawl happened with him. The second brawl happens with Aqualad. And then the third brawl happens with him when the boat pulls in and he ain't smart enough to fucking get out of Dodge because these idiots have hyped up the boat and everybody on the boat then ripped their shirts off like we in a fucking Jungle Book.
Security guard explaining exactly what I said. He explained to one of the men.
And again, he's not a security guard. He's a damn riverboat captain. He's actually right now getting paid to do a show on the pier when he's supposed to be on the motherfucking boat shipping these people around so they drunk asses can get off the boat and he can get another sobered up crew on that motherfucker. Because right now he is just acting like a dumbass and they still sitting out in the water. He already moved the boat. What else do he want? But no, he's sticking around until they see the damage that was done to the boat.
That the boat needed to be moved. Simple as that. Where it starts to get not so simple is when tensions begin to rise as another man runs up from behind and gets into the security guard's face.
Look, this man right here, he probably heard somebody in the background talking. He about to go shut their
crew members watch from another boat nearby as another man approached. The shirtless man this time runs up and aggressively
charge of shit. If they would have let that man take charge of shit, they probably wouldn't have had that. If this motherfucker right here would have acted his age, you a 60-year-old shipboat captain, you need to get your geriatric ass back on that damn ship because you should not be out down there throwing fisticuffs with these young boys over a fucking boat. If you would have parked that boat and accidentally hit their boat, they would have been in the wrong because guess what? That is your workspace right there. But you go down there and put your hands on people's shit, what you expect them to do?
Pushes of the black man. And that's something that you...
And see, look, is this acting his age? How he a victim, 60 years old, and considered a security guard, but he over there throwing up hand gestures with his hat turned back like this is Boys in the Hood shit. Come on, man. God don't like ugly. God do not like ugly. But ugly don't like ugly either.
You don't do. Now, the Montgomery Police Department, MPD, has yet to release the names and identities of the detained suspects. But even though they haven't.
No, they have. And I got that information and I'm going to show you guys too. And I'm going to prove not only did this video expose that he wasn't security, that he was the riverboat captain from the very boat that he was trying to pull in that same space, he was acting out of character because who's driving the boat right now? He don't give a damn. He don't give a damn. He don't give a damn. Hopefully there's another captain on the boat, but he don't give a damn because if he gave a damn, he would be doing his job. And he's drugged all kind of people in there. The young boy, Aqualad, who jumped in the water and came swimming across there in boots and clothes, losing his boots, following behind this grown-ass idiot right here, should have just stayed on the motherfucking boat and he wouldn't have nothing to deal with. Now, shit. How do we know that there's not going to be no possible charges filed against him? And he's going to have his name in the system. And see, this is how it all starts. We talking about prison to pipeline shit. Man, no. What about idiot to pipeline shit? What about idiot to prison pipeline? Because this idiot right here is more than willing to drag as many people down his fucking rabbit hole of buffoonery, of stupid shit, when he should have just stayed in his lane. He a fucking captain, for God's sakes. Why would a captain be on the pier fighting with fucking civilians when he's supposed to be on the boat directing the crew? It don't make no sense.
One of the boaters identified himself as Chase.
Now this gentleman right here that initially attacked him. Now, is this guy aggressive? Nah, not right now, but you'll see why.
Shipman, owner of Vassar's Mini Mart in Selma. Shipman claims that he wasn't involved in the melee, but instead wanted it to stop. That's where video evidence says otherwise. Despite the video evidence, that is, showing him punching the dock worker repeatedly while he was on the ground.
Now look, you see how Pops had his hand on old boy's head? He was like, get your ass back down to the boat. And he walked by, he ain't even look at that dock worker. He didn't even look at Captain Jack right here. He made sure, look how he looking at him. Don't even look at him. You see, man? This is a different story when somebody can break down the shit and show you an unbiased opinion and you can see how shit actually looks. But no, there's gonna be a lot of people talking about some, man, that nigga right here, man, he always talking shit about black. No, I'm always talking shit about ignorant black people that's giving legitimate black people a bad name, because this shit right here was uncalled for, very uncalled for. He should not be able to put himself in that situation, and he should not have provoked these people to put him in that situation. But you know what? You'll have people telling something. No, that's what white people are always doing. They got white privilege. But that looked like he had black privilege, just putting his hand on that damn boat, moving it down there and wrecking it into that other boat. See? But ain't nobody gonna say shit about that. It's gonna take some detective work to come in there and see and watch the full video and implicate this dumbass. That's why he ain't coming forward, because he don't want to spill the beans that he is probably the one that provoked all this shit.
Now, you can say what you want to about temperatures flaring over, and maybe you
look, he was walking away. He should have just kept on walking away. But no, he wanted to clap back at old Chubby right here with the big shirt on and the pink pants.
did have intentions to stop everything at first, but hitting a man while he down while somebody else hitting him, yeah,
Man,
it was many more than that.
man.
Yeah.
This was the poorest fight I've ever seen in my life. It was like they were slap boxing with mittens on. These motherfuckers ain't have no injuries. All of that slapping and fighting and punching and you know, posturing and shit that they was doing, slamming on each other, man, that was WWE. Nobody came out of that scathed. Even when they had the second brawl. Watch.
And if that don't tell you, boy, you let something interrupt your flow of business, and it's got to be something that you're either terrified of or, well, terrified of. Yeah. This is why violence is never the answer. I don't know these people. I ain't gonna say they're racist. I ain't gonna say they nothing, but I can definitely see that more than just them have been and will be affected by this.
See, and this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. You hear what he said? More than just them is going to be affected by that. Because you know why? Because there's a bunch of fucking liars on YouTube. There's a bunch of fucking liars on Instagram, and there's a bunch of fucking liars on social media, period. And all they want to do is exploit one another to get views, clicks, and fucking likes. And that's just pitiful, man, because they should have broke this video down so it didn't get out of control. If you care about your community and you care about your people, why excite some bullshit on them? And if some people get hurt, who you think they're going to fucking think is responsible for that? I watched a viral video of them beat the black man, so I felt like I needed to go out there and I done got my damn chest toe off. Because you know why? Because you are reacting to a fucking staged event. Now, when I say staged, I'm not talking about the fight wasn't real. I'm talking about an edited video that stages a reaction. And that's what we should know about, man. You can't expect people to see things in large numbers and not be emotionally fucking affected by it. And these guys, these content creators, they have the power to move large numbers of people with their reactions to shit. And they're not doing it. They're dropping the ball. So they don't give a fuck about the people. They don't care about the community. They only care about popularity and making money and being seen as the first one that put some information out. Well, that fucking sucks. And I'm calling people out about it because somebody has to. Somebody has to stand up for what's right. And I don't give a fuck if you do call me a coon or whatever you want to call me, because I've been called worse. It doesn't matter. What does matter is that salt and pepper right here, in right here. It's this crewmate right here, white guy, all right, and this black dude right here initiated the whole fucking confrontation because they touched somebody's shit. And you see this man right here who was attacked, unwarranted, was trying to break it up the whole time, and he was attacked. But you gotta have some people say, I don't give a fuck, until they on the wrong end of this shit. Until they on the wrong end of this shit. And then they'll see why you don't fucking take the sides of idiots. Because that's what? They'll lead you down the road and then bail on your ass. Because that's what he did. He bailed on everybody that was involved in the confrontation because he let them carry on with this shit knowing he was in the wrong.
That's a big thing. The domino effect. Don't forget about that. But at the end of the day, if nothing else, it's safe to say that Black Twitter delighted in the black voters defending themselves, as some even volunteered to contribute to the legal fees of those.
Yeah, because you got tricked into doing some stupid shit. You should not have contribute to anything. But that's what your dumb ass get for contributing to somebody that started something that ended up ending the way it's supposed to have ended. He should have been put in his place. Yeah, he got jumped on, but nothing happened to the motherfucker. He came unscathed. What he had, a ripped captain suit, a ripped captain shirt, and a bruised ego. That's what he got, because that's what he did. He brought that shit on. Him and this jackass right here. That's why he got hit in the stomach by the same motherfuckers that y'all say are racist. See, he got his ass hit in the stomach, and he walked the fuck away and left Judge Joe Brown right here, since he want to judge who's parked on the pier and shit. He left Judge Joe Brown on the pier holding another man's legs because he couldn't get his ass up off the ground after he started all that shit.
Those who were arrested.
And look at this clown right here. He gonna feed into it too. This is why we shouldn't support celebrities unless they producing something that's viable in the community. If they're not producing entertainment, then we shouldn't be listening to them. They need to stay in their lane too. Them motherfuckers have a career. They need to stick to comedy. All right? Don't get into fucking real life shit. Stay in the laugh lane. If you ain't cracking no jokes, then don't try to get serious with people, because that's what you are. You a clown. You a joke. That's what you do. That's what you do. You make a living making jokes. So keep that up and keep your fan base there. Stop trying to pull other people into some bullshit.
Let me tell y'all something.
Let me tell y'all something. You can't tell us shit.
I don't advocate violence.
Look at his face. This is called Duper's Delight. See how he's saying, I don't advocate violence, and he's smiling at the same time. This is Duper's Delight. This is when people know that they fucking you over and they can laugh in your face about it because you dumb enough to listen to them.
I do not advocate violence at all whatsoever.
But watch the butt. Here comes the butt.
But today is the first time in my life I done seen a fight break out and I got the Holy Ghost. I done shouted, spoke in tongues, cursed, swung in the air like that dude on Boys in the Hood.
See, and Nick, and he don't know no better. Watch what he says.
All emotions wrapped up in one.
See, it's pitiful when somebody being harmed gets you that excited. It's pitiful. See? So people should be evaluating these sickos that they following, because he got excited and went through all that drama that he said he did because he saw somebody wrestling.
I saw Moses part the Red Sea. I saw the trumpet blowing, the angels in the sky. I'm not racist, but see, Trump.
No, you ain't racist. You just a race baiter.
Trump just did a rally in Montgomery. And see, when Trump leave town or Trump come to town, they get the feeling themselves. Boy, let me tell you something.
That is racist. Who is they get the feeling themselves? See, this is subliminal little shots that we should be taking as adults. And plus, as professionals, see, but no, you know why? Because they can't be held accountable for it. And they stay within the boundaries of not being racist because they say certain things. See, for one, man, if you're going to be an unbiased fucking person, don't freaking associate people with they, see? But no, they like the pronouns. They love the pronouns, see? So you can't be held accountable for calling somebody a they, because now we started the pronoun trend now. So they could be they, thems, he's, hers, and all this bullshit. See? This is who we following, man. These are the people who we listen to. See? You don't see them until something happens, until one of us is getting in trouble, and then they want to come out the woodworks. But the entire time, they sitting back, living in the lap of luxury, and you starving and barely get a little free time to go out and do some shit worthwhile, like go on a riverboat. But then it gets spoiled by a bunch of motherfuckers that want to act like they some juvenile delinquents and shit, and they want to spoil it for everybody. And now we got to listen to these clowns right here who are supposed to be entertaining us, but want to give us fatherly advice about what we should do and how shit should look in our eyes, when we know for a fact that they wouldn't fucking fight a flea if it jumped on them and they motherfucking ass was out in the public. They would be calling for the police. Instead of giving people good information to have great justice and good common sense, no, he gonna play in this shit too.
When I tell you something, the dude, it was a one-on-one. Oh yeah, they taking the video down, but I'm finna commentate. It was a one-on-one. And then the redneck came over there and punched dude in the face.
He didn't punch him in the face. That man barely even touched the man. He pushed him. Neither one of them had a lick of experience in fighting. That's why nothing even happened to him. And even them people on the pier that came up there and was fighting as well. Man, they was doing a bunch of posturing. All of that swinging and jumping, and nobody ended up injured. Everybody got away with just scratches. Come on, man. I've seen schoolyard fights between 3-on-2. And the motherfuckers laid out in the grass and shit. But they on the pier. That's another thing right there, man. Everybody's so hyped up, it ain't nothing really happened. Nobody got hurt. Just a lot of posturing and racism talk, right? See, this is what I'm talking about. And this clown right here.
And punched him hard. Now, mind you.
Look, and punched him hard.
And boy, let me tell you something. When I tell you something, the dude, it was a one-on-one. Oh yeah, they taking the video down, but I'm finna commentate. It was a one-on-one. And then the redneck came over there.
See? Oh, I'm not racist. But whenever Trump come around, they get a little uppity. Yeah, they get a little uppity. And then the redneck come. See, man, come on, bro. See, it's like double jeopardy. We can't win if we follow these motherfuckers, and we can't win if we go against them. Because there's just too many idiots that follow them. So they can just say whatever they want to say, and nobody think the lesser of them. Nobody think the lesser of them. See, but I recognize this right here. All skin folk ain't kinfolk. They might look like you, but they don't have your best interest in mind. And if they pushing some race fucking war and race baiting and shit, they don't have your best interest in mind. Because if you ever have to go to war and fight, you think these motherfuckers gonna be on the front line with you? Fuck no. He gonna be in his mansion or on his yacht talking shit and commentating like he is right now, instead of holding motherfuckers accountable for what they done. Like I don't know what's his name, the Wayman brother, but no, he a coon. Yeah, he can't talk shit. He can't. Oh, he just now is not the time to be kumbaya. You know, man. See, this is what I'm talking about. These racial guys, they come into the community and they disrupt us and poison our minds with all this bullshit. That's how they were able to feed us all that Jim Crow shit back in the day, when they know they was getting over. Not only were they getting over on the government, they was getting over on the people.
And punched dude in the face. And punched him hard. Now,
punched him hard.
Mind you, that's somebody granddaddy doing security over there working at the...
See, another lie. That's somebody granddaddy doing security. That man wasn't no damn security guard. He was a riverboat captain, you dumbass. And that's why we need to exploit these motherfuckers, because they willing to look at you in your face and try to be as serious as possible and tell you a lie so they can get your reaction to it.
The dock at the riverfront trying to make some extra money because he got to get...
Yeah, look at this lie. Look at this lie he done created. Look at this lie he done fucking created.
The dude, it was a one-on-one. Oh yeah, they taking the video down, but I'm finna commentate. It was a one-on-one. And then the redneck came over there and punched dude in the face.
Not racist.
And punched him hard. Now, mind you, that's somebody granddaddy doing security over there working at the dock at the riverfront trying to make some extra money because he got to get them damn children's school supplies. And you could tell he was over there working, and Pop don't bother nobody, but the rule is rule. The rule is the rule. Rules are rules. But some people feel entitled. So they had words. So you thought you was bad. You thought you was in 1953 when white folks used to could just walk up and assault a black person like that.
See, look at the shit that they feed you. He wasn't born in no 53. He heard that story from some excited propagandist who wanted his support because he wanted to live the victimized lesson, the victimized life. See, and this is what these guys do. They get a little power, and then they fucking start telling people, because they got people following them, to listen to this bullshit, man. That man wasn't no damn security guard. He was the riverboat captain. He should have been on that fucking boat if he's somebody's granddaddy, and he should have been entertaining his guests. But no, he chose a different route to entertain.
Yeah. And Pop hit him back and did the best he could. Now let's just be honest, they took him down. Let's stop. They took him down.
See, look, he took him down. See, he took him down.
Two of them took it down. It was
Actually, they didn't take him down. He fell down, and he stayed down on the ground until everybody got up.
2 against 1. It went right. They took Pop on down. But I saw 2 videos, right? I didn't get the full context of the first video, but the second video put that thing into context for me. So,
and it still wasn't enough.
All 3 of them, and everybody went over there willing on him. Now then, another black man came and he started thumping. We got to get him a BET award. When he came, he started thumping. He deserved an award.
The brother didn't start thumping. The brother was pushing everybody off of him. The guy that didn't get credit. But no, Aqualad, he gets all the credit because he jumped in the water like a fool. Why he ain't take the boat? Because there ain't nothing he was going to do. By the time he made it to the pier, the fight was over with that old man. He had to go strike up another fight with somebody and work a wrestling move on somebody that's not even fight with him. It's a damn shame, man, we do shit like that. And then everybody get behind the bandwagon. See? But get behind the bandwagon when motherfuckers do you like that. Your own people do you like that. See? Get behind the bandwagon when you victimize like that. See? When somebody touch your shit and then you get pissed and try to fight. Yeah, they was stupid for jumping that man. But still on top of that, we should just look at it like what it is. It's a fight with a bunch of ignorant motherfuckers. That's all it is. It ain't no fucking racist. And ain't no racism in that shit. But this clown right here gonna play off like it is.
And then the lady was commentating. Now the lady, she should get an award because she was commentating. Because whoever the lady was.
And BET don't mean shit. BET was bought by Viacom. So there you go. Y'all should have chipped in and bought BET so it could be really a black-owned entertainment television. But nah, y'all sellouts for all that shit.
She was saying every damn thing we was thinking, what we was feeling at the right time is our exact thought. How she knew our thoughts is beyond me. Then, little buddy, little Slim, damn it, Pookie Michael Phelps jumps his ass in the water, and boy, he was freestyling across that lake. You heard me? He wasn't worried about no sharks, no octopus, no tarpon, no tiger shark, no bull shark. He wasn't worried about nothing. He swam his ass across there, and boy, he was getting it. I mean, he was breaststroking across that thing. It was freestyle, but he had the breaststroke to get up on the dock. Then he got his ass up on the dock, and later he didn't do nothing but draw. He took his shoes off and draw. But the fact that he swam over there, we're going to go ahead and we're going to give him an honorable mention, but he didn't do shit when he got over there. Now, everybody's sending him money on his Cash App because he swam across.
Because what do you think this shit is for? What do you think this shit is for? None of that shit was for anything, no justice or none of that shit. It was just to make a scene. And you playing right into it, dumbass. And yeah, he did do something. He attacked the dude that was trying to break up the fight and WWE style slammed him and then tumbleweeded his wife over the deck because she tried to hold him at bay and stop him from aggression on people. See, we always want to be the fighters, see? And you know where this shit came from. That young boy probably would have never got involved with that shit if it wouldn't have been in the news that other young boy shot that man and killed him when he was attacking his mom. Now, we say, yeah, that he did right. Yeah, he did right. But you don't know the implications of killing somebody, how that takes effect on you. That boy still got a long way to grow. We don't know how that shit gonna develop in him. We don't know how his mom should be afraid that shit's gonna develop and blossom into something negative. That he killed that man, because believe it or not, kids, they have more conscience than adults do. And I know we're saying that these kids out here killing each other, but look why they killing each other. because they exposed to that shit at a young age. That's why they killing each other. And then when you parade around somebody who did something, taking a life ain't nothing light, man. Protecting yourself ain't nothing light either. But we shouldn't be celebrating that boy for doing that. We should be looking to help him out because he gonna have some mental traumas when he grow up. He gonna have some mental traumas when he grow up. Shit, we got motherfuckers that get into car accidents and live with PTSD on medications all year. How you think he gonna feel when reality finally sets in and he realized he killed a man and how he killed him? See, the subconscious is something else, man, and these fools, they know how to use it. So I don't condone any of that shit. Yeah, he should self-defending, but the boy that ran and swam across the shit, man, that's just overacting. By the time he made it over there, he didn't have nothing to do. So let's go start a fight. Not the motherfuckers that was actually fighting the man, just any random person. What does that shit sound like? Does that sound like some mob shit? To where a motherfucker would go out and just kill somebody just to prove that he tough? This is the shit we teaching these guys by condoning this shit and by making it light. Now his future could be possibly jeopardized. He a young man. What if they decide to press charges on him because he really didn't have no reason to jump in the fight and say that he assaulted that man who never even threw a punch at him, and then assaulted the woman too? You think these videos go unchecked in our investigations? They can hold that shit over his head for a long time. And if he ever get in trouble again, they can rehash that shit up and be like, this is where the violence started at. We got to think, man, when we'll be allowing our kids to do shit or allowing these young people to do shit around them. We can't be egging them on, because we can be egging them on and he can go off of there and die. And guess who cheerleading them on to his death, to his grave? We did. See, what if he would have drowned going over there swimming in blue jeans, swimming in cargo pants and boots? What if he would have drowned? Who you think would have jumped in the water after him to try to save him? Nobody, because they all cheering on the fight on the fucking pier. If he wouldn't have been able to make it to the pier, thank God he did. You know what I'm saying? But what if he would have went under because he was exhausted? See, nobody thinking about shit like that. That boy would have probably drowned in front of everybody right there, because ain't nobody. They rather see some of them adults should have jumped in the water, but no, they cheered on a kid who could have went over there and caught a lucky punch, fell down and busted his motherfucking head open and bled out. Then everybody would have been like, y'all did it. Nope, we ain't do it. They ain't do it. We did it. We egged him on to go over there. We need to think better highly of our kids, man. We need to stop putting them in extreme adult situations, because this shit right here, man, is a prime example of how we are leading the kids down the wrong fucking trail. And they've been doing this shit forever, so it really don't matter to them anyway. Listen to this clown.
Look at the tape. He didn't do a damn thing when he got his ass over there. But oh, no, and behold, the riverboat was running, and the riverboat was parking, and it was some dudes in some blue shirts, and they said, hey, get us to the side. The man said, I'm going to get you to the side. He said, get me to the side right now. And they got closer.
Enough of this shit. I'm done with him. But check it out. We should watch out for people like this, because they don't have our best interest in mind. Now I want to go to somewhere a little bit close to home. This is one of my favorite YouTubers right here, content creators, Bro Sanchez. I just happened to be on his what the hell's going on?
So, and then on top of that,
happened to be on Bro Sanchez. Yeah, that was me right there. I just happened to be on his panel, listening to and commentating on this stuff right here, right? But let's go back to the beginning, where he again did the same thing that those guys did.
Okay, y'all need to move your boat, and that ticked like Before I hit play, let me go ahead and put you in the loop. This black dude right here is a security guard.
Wrong. He's not a security guard. He was the ship. He was the party boat captain, and that should have been the beginning of the story right there. But when you're willing to lie for fame, hey, by all means, go for it.
For the dock, and there's a steamboat.
And he love that word dock. He gonna say that shit a couple times. Dock.
Trying to dock, and it's full of passengers, you know, who taking
Hold on.
and it's Monday Madness, and yes, we got some madness for y'all ass on this Monday morning. A drop of one in the boat brawl. I actually got started, right? This dude, before I hit play, let me go ahead and put you in the loop. This black dude right here is a security guard. For the
Not a security guard. Not a security guard. Where is it at, man? All right, I want to show y'all something. I'm going to show you guys exactly what should have been done in the first place when they're talking about this. Damn it, that's not it. Here we go. Now I don't know if you guys can see this. Let me check and make sure. All right, yep. I gotta redo it. All right. So this is an interview. And this information was brought to my attention as well by the same individual that gave me the link to the link. My man Lovezy gave up the information to me, and I was researching it and going through it. And look, it says right here, they had an interview with CNN, the biggest lioness fucking newscast in the world. Okay. But it says right here, it gives all the descriptions of them. Richard Roberts, 48, was charged with 2 counts of third-degree assault, you know, and so on and so forth, right? Good on him. That's good on him, all right? But then it also talks about the riverboat captain. Where is he at? All right. Here we go. Oh, said the victims in the assault were identified as Damian Pickett, the black co-captain of the riverboat, and a 16-year-old white male that was lurched. He got hit in the stomach. Okay, why couldn't they do why couldn't they do a little bit of research and put this out before they put out their viral videos? You know why? Because these guys don't want information. They just want to feed the narrative. That's what they want to do. If they would have known that dude was a co-captain, maybe some questions would have came up like, why is the co-captain of the boat that's supposed to be parking on the pier touching somebody else's boat, moving it, and possibly damaging it? That would be a good reason why these people jumped on him. But no, they're not going to put that out. Because you know why? Because that right there is too much of the truth. They don't want too much of the truth to get out. They just want this shit right here to get out. This is what they want to get out. And here's a 16-year-old who gets hit, but nobody says shit about him getting hit. Nobody says how brave he is. He was actually in the midst of all this shit. While St. John's walked down here, rolling around, you know, getting nookie and spooning with Pretty in Pink. And the whole time, most of this shit right here was love taps. Most of that shit was love taps. So I just wanted to put that out, let people see that, because that right there, it didn't take too much for that content creator that gave me the information, Love's to find that. You know, we were having a conversation. He was just like, look at this. Bam. And that's where I got the information from. But these dudes right here with 27,000 and 100,000 fucking subscribers, I bet all of these subscribers probably think what he's saying is real when it's not.
Dock. And there's a steamboat.
And ain't no steamboat. That's a diesel powered paddle boat.
Trying to dock, and it's full of passengers, you know, who taking a little tour down the river and stuff. And you got this little white family on a little bitty boat blocking.
See? And this is how shit happens right here. If he was biased, he wouldn't have called him white family. He could have called him anything besides that. But you know what? That's bias. But if he was unbiased, I mean, he would have said that, hey, you had this group of people on a pontoon boat, not a little bitty boat, a pontoon boat that didn't want to move, and it caused a fight. That's being unbiased right there. But no, that's not what he wants. He got to stir the pot. He got to stir the pot
in the docking lane.
And he loved that word dock.
Little bitty boat river and stuff. And you got this little white family on a little bitty boat blocking the docking lane.
Blocking the docking.
So
it's not blocking the docking. All right, you dock your boat on the pier. So they were blocking the pier. Damn it.
Big boat can't even dock with all the people on it. So this black security guard, he doing.
Not a security guard again. Not a security guard. The riverboat captain. And he should have been on that damn boat. He should have directed somebody else to go on the pier and try to move somebody else's shit. Maybe they wouldn't have got their ass beat like he did. Either way, he didn't really get his ass beat. He just got humiliated because he was trying to make a scene for the people on the boat. You see what happens when you try to show out for motherfuckers? You get checked. And then if you don't know how to man up and take the blame for that shit, then everybody else get involved. And now you got a big ass situation like this where motherfuckers is talking about race wars and, you know, white people are this and that and black people got this. Man, come on, man. All this shit's very unnecessary. What should have happened was he should have stayed on that damn boat and called the police, and the police would have came out and ticketed him or towed the boat. That's how it worked. They wouldn't have never did that shit with the police, and their boat probably wouldn't have got damaged. They probably would have got their ticket, or they would have just strolled their happy ass away on that boat like they were going to do. But no, you got this man right here who's supposed to be 60-something years old. Why?
His job.
He wasn't doing his job, because if he was doing his job, he'd be on a damn boat.
He's like, okay, y'all need to move your boat. And that ticked those white guys off, and they jumped on him. I can't make this up. You can't make this up before I hit.
Well, guess what? You made up the whole fucking damn story right there. You're just making it up because you didn't show the beginning of the video where he fucking went over there and untied their boat without their permission, without them knowing it, and then pulled the boat into another boat in front of it, possibly damaging their boat. That would make any man mad, because you're talking about these boats are very fucking expensive. That would have made any man mad. It ain't gonna take no race. It don't take an idiot to recognize that you tearing up their shit because you want to make a scene for a bunch of dumbasses on a riverboat.
Hit play. Hold on 1 second.
And I mean all the dumbasses that was chanting, talking about some move, bitch, get out the way. That's what I mean. Because they hyping this man up to get into an altercation for no reason. If he's 60-some years old, why the fuck he ain't acting his age?
Please like and share the video. And you can receive.
So they move your boat out the way so that the black man was doing his job. Hey, move your boat out the way so that the big passenger boat can come dock or whatever. And that turned it and them assaulting this black man. Let's watch the video.
Now look, all they showing on this is them attacking them. They not showing what he did to provoke the attack. They're not even hitting each other. They look like a bunch of toddlers, a bunch of scratching toddlers. And here come Pretty in Pink. He's pissed because his dad embarrassed him in front of everybody and made his ass go back to the boat. And he was like, "That's the reason why I'm in trouble." So he jumped on him like a spider monkey. Really, he's protecting him from any blows that he could be getting on the head because, look, ain't nobody really hitting him. It's just a lot of posturing and shit, man. You know who the true should have been really rewarded? This brother up here. He should have been the one that's really rewarded. Not Aqualad, not this motherfucker right here, but this dude right here. Them other dudes that ripped their shirts off like we was in Jungle Book and went over there and attacked the man, yeah, they should go to jail because that was an unprovoked fight. That was an unprovoked attack. I don't give a fuck if they was taking up for this dude. You don't just attack a motherfucker if he ain't attacking you. And that man didn't attack. That man was trying to pull that kid off of him. Watch when he comes down there. But you got people that say this. Well, he shouldn't have been there. Yeah, okay. He shouldn't have been there either. None of these motherfuckers should have been there. Somebody with some common sense should have been there. And the only one with common sense got victimized at the end. Look at the man. This is the man that got attacked on the third round. And then you got Lurch right here. He was the one that helped him move the boat and possibly damage it. Watch what happens to him. That's some racial discrimination too. What did he racially discriminate him for? He too tall? Look. Damn. Lurch took one to the stomach and was like, "Fuck that shit, I'm out." Fuck that shit, I'm out. Lurch was like, "You on your own, bro." Captain, you on your own. He loved that motherfucker. But look, that's the initial attacker right there who he was talking to calmly in the first beginning, who probably went and saw his boat was damaged. And then he's still over here talking shit in his face like, "You just gonna damage my shit and just sit up here and talk shit about it? Come on, man. That's a major insult to my integrity. And you gonna come over here and just do that shit and just sit up here and act like, we did it. We did you wrong by parking there, and you just damaged my motherfucking boat, and you making a spectacle in front of the riverboat. Okay, I'll be mad too, shit." Look, here comes the real stand-up guy right here. Look at him. That's why he ain't get no credit. Because he ain't throw one punch. He avoided all the freaking hostility by doing what? Communicating. Right? And he was putting hands on people too as well. Check it out. Not no fist. It's pulling people off. This man is between all the commotion. And the only one get credit is Aqualad right there. Aqualad, who didn't do nothing additionally to help this man up off the ground or anything. He got out of the water, dried himself off, kicked off his one boot because he lost the other one in the water because of what? Dumbass. That's why. And then he proceeds to go and attack the man that ain't threw one punch the whole time. You know why? Because he was just standing there. Easy targets. You know what? You know who attack easy targets? Predators. Predators attack easy targets. And I'm not saying the young man is a born again predator, but he was coerced to go over there and do some shit that he shouldn't have ever been involved in. You 16 years old, you shouldn't be in grown folks' business. Why none of them grown staff jumped in the water for that shit? You know why? Because they was the one telling him to do it. See? This is how your so-called friends can love you to death. Because they can talk you into doing shit that could possibly get you killed. Like I was saying earlier, what if he couldn't make it across the water? Because he looked like he's struggling. Everybody say he was doing the backstroke, but look.
This the dude who went viral right here.
Look,
this black dude.
That just tickled his face. This the dude who went viral right here. He from Alabama. This the dude who went viral. Man, I swear, man, we be putting on so many fronts. It's a damn shame, man.
Right here, hopped off to the steamboat and swam over there to go and help that brother. And he's basically gonna go viral. I know whoever he is, everybody gonna
see. Look at what he's talking about. He ain't talking about that young man who's possibly putting himself in danger because they don't know if they got weapons, knives, guns, or nothing. They just going out there just doing shit to be a spectacle. It's either one or two things. Why would you go into a situation where you know that there's a possibility that you can be hurt? especially jumping into the water with full ensemble on, boots and everything. You swimming so hard you lose a boot. See? To try to get over there to prove a point. And what if he wouldn't have made it? What if he would have drowned? You think anybody would have jumped in the water after him? Hell no. They probably would have threw him a submersible and hoped that he caught it. Because if they weren't going to jump in the water to go over there to help, then they weren't going to jump in the water to go in there to save his ass.
Gonna want to interview him after this. I know I do. Like his name, he been coined the name Aquaman.
Aquaman. He ain't been coined that name. Earlier, I showed that he was coined the name Shaquille O'Gills. That's what they was calling him. Now I know Aquaman. See, motherfuckers just be making up lies just because they can get a unnecessary attention and shit. This entire thing was a big ass hoax in my book because for one, they didn't even show it. Ain't no racism involved in this shit. Guess what, guys? Hey, the fucking chicken said that the sky was falling. That's what this shit is.
But this was just a hot mess. Let's go.
That boy swimming his ass over there.
Look, that boy was swimming his ass off there. I said a joke earlier. She sounded like the lady that said, I ain't got time. Ain't nobody got time for that. Somebody need to make a meme on this shit. Look, that boy swimming his ass over there. And look, watch what she say.
Yeah,
ain't nobody got time for that. Yeah, damn. Somebody need to pull that up and do a meme with it, man. Make a beat out of it or some shit.
that boy finna help that boy.
And when he swam over there, he started laying the smack down, and he ain't even a big dude. Whoever this dude.
See, look at this. He laid the smack down. He attacked a man that was just standing there trying to avoid being hit, who never threw a punch, who actually put himself in jeopardy to help to try to protect the dude, and then mistaken as an aggressor and thrown to the ground. But let them tell it. Oh, he was putting the man in the chokehold. All of these dudes is old. That dude right there, the one that got jumped on, the riverboat captain, he old. The fat chubby dude that he was talking to in the pink shirt with the X on his back, he old too. They could barely get up off the ground. That's why he was laying on the ground holding the dude's waist and shit. And you guys didn't see when he ran over there how he fell the fuck down. Cause see, he ain't supposed to be in that type of environment. Right. He gets up. They say he has him in the chokehold. This man is leaning on him because he can't even get up too. Both of them old as dirt. And he just trying to protect the man. And he getting caught up in the conflict by the real brother who was trying to save him, but he mistaken him for an attacker. See, look, he ran over there, he grabbed him.
This the dude who went viral right here. This black dude right here hopped off to the steam gonna go viral. I know whoever he aiming as. Listen.
But look, he ran from the fight and fell down right there, man. He got up off the ground, ran, and fell down right there. He probably going through some type of cardiac arrest because he's doing some stupid shit out there trying to relive his childhood and shit. But this dude, the one that was leaning on him, he's on the ground right now. He ain't punched nobody. He actually tried to get in between him and the other dudes and end up getting thrown down and shit. But some people be like, well, shouldn't have been involved, right? And see, that's the ignorance in you, because you wouldn't want some motherfucker just targeting you if you just trying to help. You wouldn't want somebody that's target you.
And when he did, hold on.
Oh, he did. He didn't drop the. Watch what he does. He starts walking with the man, drying himself off. They ain't lay no smack down. They had to go initiate another fight in order for him to get noticed.
Now, when they saw all the black folks docking, ganging up, then they wanted to run away. No, y'all started it.
These people had nothing to do with the fight. They was trying to break the fight up, the woman and the man. But they son, Pretty in Pink, yeah, he deserved a couple slaps across the face. But why you had to go all naked out here in this motherfucker just to go and slap a motherfucking face? See, this is theatrics at its worst, man. Because we make a fool of ourselves. There was no reason for you to get off the riverboat. Get off. They came from the riverboat now, and then took off their shirts to come down there and be he-men and slap up a woman and an old man and they dumbass son. See, they did all of that for nothing.
It's too late. Now, guess what? Y'all know this is going to be seeded for some kind of race war shit.
You see what I'm saying? This is exactly why the whole conversation is being spoken about right now. Because just when I think that these guys are legitimate and they got common sense, that they wouldn't try to use their platforms for bullshit, they turn around and do shit like this. He bring up race wars when he know nothing of the sort will ever happen. Nobody in their right mind is going to fucking team up to go and kill the same people that you share a neighborhood with when it's possible that you can get killed. And where are you going to go after you fucking go to that war? You think you're going to be able to go back home and live in your house all peaceful and shit after fighting a war on your own soil now? See how dumb these people are? There'll never be a war on the United States soil. There never was a war on the United States soil. There'll never be one. Because you know why? We don't fucking do stupid shit like that. Now, if it was over in the Ukraine or some shit like that, or over in Afghanistan, yeah, I can see this shit happening. But this is America, motherfucker. You guys can try and race bait all you want, but in actuality, all you're doing is proving how fucking stupid you are. Because nothing like that will ever happen here. They tried that shit down there, talking about some demilitarized zone, but that was all paid for by the fucking politicians. That's why they got as far as they did. And they damaged as much shit. But you notice that they only get in groups to do what? Tear up their own shit. That's what the ignorant people do. See? The ones that's out there tearing up their own shit, they only get in groups to do that. See? But if it's a real cause and people want to actually make a legitimate change, they don't tear up their own shit. They go down there and they do what they're going to do. They march and they do all their shit. They say what they're going to say. They get their point across and they file paperwork to get some fucking money for their damages, and they move the fuck on. But no, we got motherfuckers that want to get all apish out in this bitch, rip off their shirts and start going, ooh, ooh, over here. And you know what? It looks exactly the way it sounds. It looks exactly the way it sounds, man. And look, as black people, we should be pointing this shit out and saying, no, 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 no. That's not what we do. At least keep your fucking clothes on. At least keep your fucking clothes on. It's just stupid, man.
We got to talk about it all. Let's go.
Look at this. What the fuck was that? Why was he scrunching down and shit?
Talk about it all. Let's
I didn't know that was a new fighting stance. Walk up doing some ape shit.
Yeah.
Now look, that was well deserved. Yeah, good on him. But all the rest of the shit after this, nah, man, that dude, he old as dirt. He can't fucking stop you guys from fighting him.
Woo! 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 Woo!
You know, I would have got in my boat after all that shit ended, and I would have fucking took off and came and filed some paperwork later on or some shit. See, they were stupid for sticking around, thinking that motherfuckers was gonna be, understanding that the fight happened and they was trying to break it up. But nope. When you dealing with a bunch of fueled idiots that are fueled off of some shit that shouldn't even happen, man, the only people that's gonna be able to stop them is them. So the best thing to do is get the fuck away from them. Let that shit die out. But it's not gonna go into no fucking race war shit. It's not gonna go anywhere close to that. See? Ain't nobody gonna go out here and fight over no damn color. It ain't never happened. It ain't gonna never happen. You're gonna always have these idiots that believe race is what makes the world go around, and they're gonna still keep preaching that shit and teaching that shit, and you're gonna always have these pockets of motherfuckers that want to act out on it. But you know what? Eventually we're gonna learn, and we're gonna start chastising them motherfuckers, because you know why? We're gonna get tired of losing people behind foolishness. going to jail or dying behind foolish shit, man.
They mad. Look at them. They mad. Woo! Beat that up.
And look, this right here is Aqualad, right? Shaquille O'Gills. He didn't even know the fight was happening behind him. Look, he's standing here looking at the boat. He's supposed to be the boat crew. These people are probably thinking that the boat crew is going to come down and help them move their boat. But no, it was a setup. So look, Aqualad standing there. He itching for a fight, but one shoe on, one shoe off. God damn, boy, you stupid as fuck.
Hey, look at them. They mad.
Oh shit, the fight's happening behind me. Let's turn around and just start jabbing.
Beat that ass.
Look, with all of that fighting though, all that hitting, I don't see no blood. I don't see no blood. And look, you want to see some funny shit? Watch this chick right here in the black. Watch what she does to that lady. She gonna here she is right here. She gonna politely kick the lady in the ass and then hit her when she turn her back. That's some cowardice shit.
Oh my God.
Whoop, look at that shit. You see her kick her? Boop, right in the ass. That's some funny shit, but still at the same time, that's some cowardice shit. And then not only did she kick him, she celebrated with nobody watching. See? Look,
that what you get. That what you get. That what you.
And see, we got these grown ass people talking these kids up to do this shit. This is where the disturbing shit happens, because you would think that the adults would have their shit together enough to prevent these kids from fucking destroying their future by out here brawling like some dumbasses. But you know what? They don't give a fuck about that. They probably hoping somebody dies so they can get more publicity and shit.
Oh, tie ass up.
And look at this guy right here. He is dragging a woman by her hair and hitting her in the face, and he gonna throw her in the water and walk by this Duffy ass fucking cop right here, and they're gonna exchange head signs. That's some shady shit right there.
She whooped her ass.
Look, a man did that shit. A man threw that woman in the water. Watch what he do. Watch. Walk in the water. Look, he walks right by the cop, looks at him. He looks at him. You know he had to see that shit happen. There's nobody there blocking this shit. And look, he just ass up. But now we're wrong. If this is such a racial state, right? If this Alabama so racist like these motherfuckers say it is, why this cop right in the elements? Why does this white cop right here, just so calmly around these so-called Negroes that are unruly? He just walking around, ain't trying to protect his gun or nothing. You see what I'm saying? As a looky-loo. Look, and they about to fight right in front of him. He ain't say shit. I got your name. Look, see? Even though it looks aggressive, ain't nobody get hurt. Ain't nobody get hurt. And see, this is a piss poor excuse for a fight in the first place.
Whoever this lady is with all this commentary.
See, they get a kick out of that shit. They just love that shit. That shows you the ratchetness of these motherfuckers.
Yo, this is the ghetto shit I'm talking about in Bama. Now, let me tell you something. Living in Bama, I will confess all of my little hood shit. You know, it's crazy, all the black shit.
Woo! Oh my God! Woo! That what you get? That what you get? That what you get? Oh, tie ass up! Oh! In the water! In the water!
And boy, they paid for that shit. Jumped that black man, and boy, they paid for that shit.
Yep. Look, the cops ain't fucking doing shit. They not doing shit. They not doing shit. They came down there, man. They should be been dispersing that shit. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and where's the big fat white cop? Cops down there.
That nigga gave him a 10-piece, then jumped in the water and swam away.
And see, Sanchez is so dumb. He ain't even look at the video long enough to find out that here is the fucking aqua lad right here. He ain't jump in the water. The person that jumped in the water was the guy that was getting jumped on, the white guy. He jumped in the water. Watch, and he gonna get a kick out of that, and it's all a fucking lie.
Wow, nigga, Aquaman and his team came to the rescue. I got to see that shit.
And this is where the white guy jumped in the water to get away. You can still see a silhouette of him. He jumped in the water to get away from him because they wasn't gonna jump in the water.
Shit again. He went and gave some blows and then boop, the nigga swam away from the police, nigga. That was some Navy SEAL shit.
See, look at that lie he just not made up. So the white guy that got jumped in the water, right? There's videos of him jumping in the water, but Sanchez don't know that. He just making this shit up as he go. And this is probably, you know what? I ain't gonna say probably. I'm gonna say this is what y'all get when every time he speaks on some shit that's current. He just be making it up as he go, man. He just be making it up as you go. But that shows you nobody ain't gonna say shit about it besides people that really care about the people, because they're gonna just sit there and laugh about the shit and just give commentary that ain't even real.
Woo! He ran, he jumped in the water. Yeah. Get in that. Oh, look at the bras. The bras jumping that.
Now look, this is Gorilla in the Mist right here, the one that was walking down, that was doing the little squat, the crunching thing, like he was gonna shake the boat and shit. You getting arrested. That's what it should have happened, because that was an unprovoked attack on those people who didn't fight nobody. They was down there trying to break these people up, pull their kid away. Now slapping the boy, yeah, give him a couple slaps, that's cool. But the old man and his wife, come on, man. How you gonna take some joy in some shit like that and then say, well, they did it to us? See, this is why they make up these stories so they can justify traumatizing motherfuckers. This is why. And I'm not talking about all black people. I'm talking about these individuals. We know them. We got them in our family that just don't know common sense, that will bring trouble straight to the house. Yep, be running from the police and come straight home. Why the fuck would you do some shit like that? But this is the mentality of people like that. See, they don't care about nothing but themselves. They just want to get something out of it themselves. They don't care about anybody else. So let's get it while we can, man. What if the cops would have started shooting this shit? And here go the boy right here, the one that was freaking going to the. There he is right there. That go Aqualad right there. I thought Sanchez said that he jumped in the water. Nope, sure the fuck didn't. That's another lie, Sanchez. You should beg your audience's pardon, because you just be making shit up, bro. And see, this proves it. See, I ain't got to say too much. This straight up proves it. You lied about the dude being a security guard. You lied about him being innocent and them white folks just jumped on him. You lied about that. Then you lied about this dude right here fighting and jumping in the water, being like a Navy SEAL and shit, running from the police. When do the lie stops, bro? When do the lie stops? Apparently never.
Yeah. Get in that.
See, look, he's throwing his hat. There he goes right there. Fine spectacle.
Look at the bras. The bras jumping their ass. Cause y'all was wrong for jumping on that black man like that, baby.
Yeah, I'm gonna just say this right now, man. This ain't a thing about black people versus white people.
See, always got to throw that disclaimer out there right before he put his foot in his mouth and say some stupid shit. Watch.
Because I'm gonna tell you right now, there's some white folks who looking at this shit like a bunch of other niggas, like all of this shit is a hot mess.
You know why it's a hot mess? Because it's a hot lie. And if they watching the same video as you and you commentating it, hell yeah, I can see why they can say that. But if they saw it from the beginning, I guarantee you, any reasonable, prudent person would say that the reason why the fight started was because he put his hands on somebody else's property. That's why. But ain't no reasonable, prudent person right here doing the freaking critique of the video. That's why I gotta critique the video and put it out. And my small audience ain't gonna get as much play. But the people that do, I hope y'all understand why I'm doing this shit. Because it don't make no sense to be up here trying to make nothing out of something.
And my thing is this right here, man. Because it's a lot to talk about with this bullshit here. The white folks that initiated this shit was in the wrong.
See? Look at that. He ain't even investigated the video. They in the wrong. You know what I'm going to say? They are in the wrong for attacking that man. But they not in the wrong for reacting the way they did. They not in the wrong for reacting the way they did. Because he was in the wrong for reacting the way he did. When he didn't get the response he wanted from them to move their boat, he considered himself the peer authority. And he left his workplace, his job now, because he wasn't no damn security guard. He was a shipboat captain. He left his job to go and put his hands on somebody else's property. And then it didn't cause the confrontation right off the bat. He stuck around until the confrontation kicked off because he was trying to make a scene.
And that needs to be highlighted. Everything that...
See, black people, we don't need nobody to check us on this shit. We need to check ourselves on this shit. And they need to check themselves. They're going to get a good lesson on not to put their hands on people. But at the same time, we need a lesson on etiquette, on decorum. You don't put your hands on people's shit, let alone damage it, and don't expect nothing to happen. And then clap all in their face and shit like you running shit. Because this is a peer for Harriet Tubman. That's not how you do shit, man. How we going to say we the victims of racism and we the aggressors of this shit right here? Because that's what it was. This would have never happened if Father Time in the police suit, which is actually a shipboat captain suit, if he wouldn't have never went over there and touched some people's shit, they probably wouldn't have never did nothing to him. And he could have probably had them move their boat without any confrontation at all by utilizing the police department.
Happened afterwards was justified. But I put a poll up, right? The polls, and
man, we know your polls are biased. You got the same 50 motherfuckers voting on the same shit you like. That's bias. So your polls are full of shit. And I've looked at those polls. And I've tried to actually utilize them as well. But now all I do is just close them out because they full of shit. They biased. And plus, we know that you have so many motherfuckers in the chat that they're going to pick whatever you want anyway. See? I don't see why nobody ain't called your shit on this.
And shout out to Ricky Smiley. I know he been covering this. I actually met Ricky Smiley. He's a cool dude, so salute.
Ricky Smiley should have gave you the right information and you wouldn't be reporting the wrong shit.
It's to him, man. You know what I'm saying? Check this out, right? The poll says, will the blacks involved in the riverboat brawl be prosecuted more than the whites who started it? Most of y'all put yes, and I myself will vote yes to that.
See, because you got to be rich to be racist. You got to have money because it's systematic. It's systemic. They love using that bullshit. See, they love using that bullshit. But now that you know that this was a provoked fight, right? Even though he was jumped, it was provoked, right? I bet you nobody still that agree with Sanchez is going to say shit to him. And he ain't going to beg nobody pardon for putting out the wrong information in the first place. He going to try to make up an excuse saying that you don't know what is going on. And even so, what difference does it make? Because that's the type of motherfucker that cares only about himself and not about the people would do.
It's crazy, right? Because check it out. There was a shooting in Chicago, right? Where You had a young black teenage dude in the restaurant with his moms, and another black dude, belligerent as hell, started antagonizing the mama, ended up beating on her a bit. And the young man came up from up out of this thing with that thing and pop, 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 pop.
And changed his fucking life forever, because you know why? That's going to hit him at a later date. And it's going to evolve into something that can either be negative or it can be weakness. Because I'm telling you, man, when a kid does some shit like that, it doesn't turn out right. It doesn't, man, because you got all these mixed emotions. Kids can't even decide if they male or female. You think they're going to be able to handle something like killing somebody in cold blood? Yeah, he was beating on his mama, right? And by all means, if she would have had the gun, she should have shot him. But no, she told him to go get the gun. That's irresponsible as a parent. She should have told him to go get the gun and say, if he moves, shoot his ass and give me the gun. And then she could have initiated the shooting. But she didn't care about that man, how he's going to grow up with this shit. There's people that get into car accidents that have PTSD for the rest of their life. What you think that shit going to do to that 16-year-old kid or 14-year-old kid? Yeah, she can say that he saved her or whatever, but come on, man. That's gonna hinder that kid's development, man. And bro Sanchez is using this like that's a badge of honor. You're supposed to be caring about the kids, not exploiting them.
That was the end of old buddy. Now he beat the case because they said, look, the black brother was beating on his mom. It was self-defense. Boom. Now
he beat the case, but he can't beat reality. He can't beat reality. And I know that boy ain't no cold-blooded killer. Look at the picture of him. He ain't no cold-blooded killer. He was coerced into doing that shit by his mom, and he wanted to do what his mom said, not knowing the consequences of what that shit is.
Now look, I don't see how they'll see it any different right here. You got a bunch of white guys beating on one black man, and then boom, you got a bunch of folks come in to defend it. It just ain't lethal with the gun. So now what they gonna tell us is that it's okay for a young black man to shoot another black man in defense of his black mama, which it is. I agree with that. But they gonna pass the law the right way though, because it's black on black though. So they're gonna let the little nigga get off. But if it was a white dude,
see, build him up just to tear him down subliminally. See, that's the shit that tyrants do. That's the shit that tyrants do. Praise them, but then negatively reinforce the praising. See, that negative reinforcement shit don't work with humans. It works with animals. We're not animals. Negative reinforcement affects us negatively. It doesn't affect us positively. You can't praise somebody, then turn around and say the only reason why he got let off is because the laws support black on black crime. See, that's going to fuck the boy up even more. Because now if he grows up and learns that if that is the case, he contributed to the system killing another brother, that's going to fuck with his psyche. It's going to fuck with his psyche anyway, because he ain't gonna be able to stop seeing that shit. I'm telling you right now, he ain't going to be able to stop seeing that shit.
Beating on his black mama, he probably would have had to do some time. So I'm saying how they gonna act in this situation, because depending on how they act, it's gonna determine if this turn into.
They gonna act like humans, motherfucker. They gonna act with common sense. The cops picked up the fighters, and guess what? They need to pick up all the fighters. And then once they figure out who was doing the fighting, persecute their ass, and then let them go. And then come back and do the civil shit on Captain Jack right there. Because Captain Jack is the one that started all this shit. I guarantee he won't go unscathed. That's why he ain't came forward like everybody else has.
To a big race situation and all that. See, here's what we gotta realize. Under the same logic they used to make that young man get off of that case in Chicago, that's the same logic they ought to use to say, you know what? Every black person that came in defense of this, we can't really.
No, that's not how it works. And the reason why that's not how it works is because there's a cool down period. Anything else that happens after that is premeditated. Now, let's say if they would have attacked that man, punched him in the face, he would have fell down and hit his face on the side of that boat and bled out and died. Guess who's going to jail, bro Sanchez? Man, I swear, you dumbass. I swear, why are you using your platform to push this negativity, man? You could be using it for positivity. And that's what I thought you was about, but apparently it's not. So from this day on, man, I appreciate all the shit you done for the people that's positive, and I reject all the shit that you do that's going to hinder the growth and development of the society that we live in, because that's what this shit is. And everybody that's making videos about it and not saying what the truth is, that this was a provoked incident, they are promoting the destruction of society that we know it. Because guess what? When you push this shit, it infects you directly within your environment, and you will see the results of it. Because that's why they were able to do all that shit during 9/11. Not 9/11, but during COVID, and do all these marches and burn up all that shit and destroy all that property and shit. Yeah, the people got paid, but you talking about growth and development. They had to wait to get that shit, man. They should have been, what they should have been doing, they should have been down there trying to push the agenda. They should have been down there trying to push the agenda to actually fix the situation. But no, just destroy this shit.
Do nothing to them. I mean, they were defending boom, boom, boom. And just because it's a couple of white women involved, we can't have a heart for all that, because they think about it. Them same white women that was getting their ass beat when all them niggas came, they was beating on that black man. The white girl was helping them beat black security guard. So this is a hot mess. And basically the people that initiated it need to be prosecuted, because guess what I'm telling you right now? That security guard is a...
Hey, you hear what he said? The person that initiated need to be prosecuted. Now, I don't want him taking it back when he find out the person that initiated was the person that touched somebody else's property unwarranted. And again, he ain't no damn security.
To be prosecuted, because guess what I'm telling you right now? That security guard is a uniform officer. Y'all don't
see that? See how he's trying to tug on some heartstrings? That's a uniform officer. Man, he was the riverboat captain. Lie, Sanchez. He was a riverboat captain. You ought to be fucking ashamed of yourself. The riverboat captain got off of his boat and went over there and personally perform manual labor on these people's property. And that's what provoked them. Not at first, not until after they recognized how he did it, which is push their boat up against that other boat. Common sense should tell you that. But when you don't have common sense, you just reach for anything.
Y'all don't realize that. Yeah, you could say he's a rent-a-cop. You could say he's a goddamn little toy cop. But guess what? He's still a uniform, badge-wearing officer.
No, he's not, dumbass. See, you need to do your homework before you start preaching shit to people, trying to make people understand a fucking lie. All right? He was not a uniformed badge security guard. He was a riverboat captain who belonged his ass on the riverboat. That's where he belonged. See, when you ain't about shit, you just talk about shit. When you ain't about shit, you will say anything to get views and to get clicks. See? We need more people to identify these motherfuckers that are misleading us in times that we really need them to be the mind of reason and shit like this. Not the instigator and the freaking, what does they call it? Fucking racist porn pusher and shit. Fucking racism porn pushers getting all excited. And you know this is gonna bring about a race war. Get the fuck out of here, man. I swear this is all theatrics, and we should know that. Ain't no real teaching in any of this shit. And I'm skeptical about if there's any teaching in any of this shit.
That you got to respect his authority in a public space. He's a first responder.
No, he's not. He's a last responder. He's a not even respond if he's asked or told to do so. He was supposed to be on that motherfucking boat. He took the liberty of jumping boats. Now, as the captain, I am the captain. He commandeered another boat to go over to the pier to pick a fight with the people and move their shit and damage their boat. And look what the outcome of this. Sanchez, you should be fucking ashamed of yourself, Dingleberry.
And this is why I stopped doing security, y'all. Everybody know this was my career field, security guard.
Who cares? So obviously you weren't good at it because guess what? You can't even do a little detective work and find out what the guy's occupation is. You just start making up accusations and shit. Just making whole stories behind the shit. He's a first responder, badge toting. He is supposed to be respected in his workplace. Well, he should have been in his workplace. None of this shit would even happen. You see, Lurch left. Lurch and got up the fuck up out of there. He did the dirt with him and he boned out and shit. And left his ass squalling out there on the floor getting drugged, man, at 60 years old. I don't even know if he's 60 years old. He might be younger than that, or he could be older than that. Nowadays, you can't tell, man. If there's a little bit of lie, the whole thing is a lie. I don't trust none of this shit these guys be saying.
So I know how I would approach them. I would have been like, hey, guys, how y'all doing, man? Pretty day out here, huh? Could you guys move your boat for me? They trying to dock over here, man. Appreciate y'all guys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that would be the smart thing to do. Not just walk up to somebody's fucking boat when ain't nobody in it, untie the bitch, and just let it drift into somebody else's boat. Then tie it down like ain't nothing wrong with it. See?
That's how I would have did it. Now, I don't know how this security guard did it, but it don't matter how.
Again, it's not a security guard, dumbass.
How the hell he did it. You listen to authority, obey, and move your boat, and boom. Now check this out.
Really? Is that the advice you're giving right now? After I've heard countless occasions where you said, fuck the police, don't listen to nothing they say. You know, it's a system, systematic racism and systemic racism. All this bullshit. Now, all of a sudden, you the mind of reason. Well, you should have had the mind of reason to fucking figure this out and tell the truth about what this guy did and what his occupation was. But until you do that, man, you don't get no kudos.
I'm going to tell y'all something, and I got to say this. Black people that's police and that's doing security is really not a good time to be in the law enforcement unless you in the courtrooms or some shit like that. I'm going to show you why.
Why? Because it's going to be a race war. It's going to be a race war. It's going to start in Alabama, and then it's going to move through Kentucky. Come on, man. Get the fuck out of here. You guys should not be giving any advice on anything. Shouldn't be giving any advice on what people should be doing with their career life. When you've had the opportunity to have a career in each one of those. Won't never tell you how the career ended, but we'll tell you that, oh, I did it. I got experience. Yeah, but they ain't going to tell you how the career ended. And 9 times out of 10, they couldn't cut it, so their ass got booted out. That's how it works, man. That's why people could be so abrasive towards shit like that. Like telling people that's the worst place for them to be, man. Look, if you want to be a cop and be out there on the street trying to do what's right, do that shit, man. Don't let nobody hold you back. Don't let fear and anxiety that these cocksuckers create keep you from doing what you dream that you want to do. Do that shit. See? The only person that should be making up your mind or giving you advice about that shit, it should be you. See, because listening to these guys, you're liable to get some alternative fucking.
Watch this, right? Because I'm going to show y'all something. Watch this. Watch this. Because it's a lot to this shit other than just what we seeing here. Hold on. Now watch this. I'm going to show you a whole nother story, right? In this story, and what I'm showing you guys, if you're a black man and you wearing a badge like I was, it's getting harder and harder for us. Why? Because
you weren't wearing a badge, you were security. And you weren't even the type of security with a gun.
I'm going to be honest. Other races don't don't see you as a public authority figure. They still see you as a black man. And if you think I'm lying, watch this video. Here is a black deputy that went inside of the IRS office to handle business, and the security guard drawed down on him. Told him, you're a black man in here armed with a gun, y'all. Oh! Watch this shit.
A terrifying moment at the IRS office. A taxpayer comes in to do some business and is confronted by the security guard who pulls his gun. But the taxpayer has a gun, too, because he's in uniform for his job as a deputy sheriff. Les Trent tells you what happened next.
A sheriff's deputy stops by the IRS with a routine question about his taxes. He has no idea the terrifying standoff that's about to erupt. A security guard tells him he has to remove his gun. The deputy says he can't do that and walks away. That's when the guard pulls his weapon and aims it right at the deputy.
Now, guess what? All of the white folks that work in this IRS office, they called police and said, we got an armed black man in our building. They didn't say he was a deputy. Then when the
see, I wouldn't listen to this and take it off face value. See, I would go and I would watch this video and I would critique it for myself, because listening to motherfuckers like Rose Sanchez explain shit, he just be making shit up sometimes, man. He'll make shit up to the point where he get the reaction he want, then he'll double back and be like, maybe it was misinterpreted. See, devil's advocate motherfuckers are people that play both sides and straddle the fence. See, fair weather fighters and shit. They'll talk you into a fight, and then when your ass start losing, they'll try and say that it was you, it was one-on-one. See what I'm saying? And that's some bullshit, man. That is some bullshit.
Police showed up, they was laughing and shit like, wait a minute, this is the armed black man y'all talking about? Yes, this man sued and he won the case.
And if he did sue, he sued because the security guard pointed a deadly weapon at him.
Thinking, wow, this man's going to shoot me in my back, because I could hear the anger in his voice.
An urgent call was placed to 911, but there's not one word that the guy they were concerned about was a deputy.
We got a taxpayer at the IRS office that has a gun and he won't leave the premises.
Now listen, this ain't the security guard. This is the white dude who is the supervisor in this IRS office. He said we got a taxpayer at the IRS that has a gun and he won't leave the premises. They was trying to set this up to have this man shot the hell up. Why didn't they say we got a police deputy in here? They called this shit in as a black man with a gun who won't leave. And then this caller said,
I thought he said taxpayer. See how he feeding into this shit? See how he's feeding into this shit? They said word for word, we've got a taxpayer at the IRS office that has a gun and he won't leave the premises. The man didn't say we are a teller. I hope he says he a teller so I can give your dumb ass the benefit of the doubt. But until then, I'm gonna assume that you is just making this shit up, and you see that they say taxpayer, but you want to say black man because that's how racially biased your jackass is. See, you a jackass. That's why you so racially biased, man. It could have been the call from this motherfucker right here, the actual security guard. How you know it wasn't him? See, and this is why I don't like shit like that.
At a taxpayer with a gun, but they didn't say he was a uniformed deputy. Come on, man. This is the point that I'm making is white folks don't
see this is the whole premise behind this shit. It's the race beta motherfucker, because you got some dumbass that is afraid of another dumbass who should have just told him who he was and showed that motherfucker how to handle business instead of blowing the man off. Because you know why? Because see, the same shit that we accuse white people of doing, we actually do ourselves. We actually do ourselves, because America is about freedom. See, we can't turn around and say white people, they got privilege when we can do whatever the fuck we want to do too. Ain't that privilege? Ain't that privilege? I would say when the cops was watching them black dudes whoop the ass of that woman and throw her in the water and hit that woman and beat her down to the ground and shit and beat them people on the boat, that was privilege, that they did not stop them from doing that. That's a privilege that they received to get their frustration and angers out there, misguided frustration and anger. You see what I'm saying? Because ain't none of them people there ever experienced any type of slavery or any of that shit to provoke any of that stuff. None of those people in that fucking video experienced Jim Crow or slavery, but they still hold the burden of that. You know why? Because you got people whispering in their ears, systemic and pandemic racism. See, that's what it is. You can't be racism because you ain't got money. That's what it is. It's a system. See, but them white folks, you see how they throw that shit in? See, and that's just wrong, man. Fuck all the race shit, man. What's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. If you ain't gonna do people right regardless of their color, you might as well not do anything at all. You heard the saying, don't speak unless you got something nice to say.
Don't respect your goddamn badge, black man. And I got folks the point that I'm making is white folks don't respect your goddamn badge, black man. And I got to tell a lot of black guys this who in law enforcement.
See? I don't see how white people still congregate. I don't see it. I don't know what the motive is. Is it that you're trying to gain popularity through him by accepting the bullshit that he's talking about? Because that's straight up bullshit right there. White people don't respect your badge, black man. That man, I can't tell you how many times I've seen black people uphold the law and be respected just like white people. Shit, I worked with a bunch of them. He worked with a bunch of them. Supposedly, if he was so-called security, that's what I'm talking about. So when he was security and he was a badge toter, I guess they didn't respect his ass either. That's why he's no longer a security no more. He ain't gonna tell you that story.
All right. This is why they make niggas police your own communities. Because black.
That's a damn lie. That is a damn lie. They do not make niggas police their own community. Man, I hope that people see this video and call Bro Sanchez shit on that shit. Put some heat up under his ass to get him to apologize for saying all this bogus ass shit. And then making the excuse because I'm from Alabama. You know what I'm saying? You can say that shit all you want, talking about you from the South. I'm from the South too. And I can tell you right now, motherfuckers ain't fucking with nobody down there. And if they are, it's a personal beef. It ain't got shit to do with a worldwide racism cult that you talking about. Now, worldwide fucking death cult? Hell yeah, it's a worldwide death cult. And I'm leaning to believe that Bro Sanchez is part of it.
Black guys will respect your back, and they don't. A lot of the black guys don't respect the black men who's security and police and shit. They'll try you. So it's like black guys who are in law enforcement, I hate to say it, man.
They doing just fine. They doing just fine. They making a living. They enforcing the rules and regulations. And if they don't step out of line, out of their position and violate anybody's rights or do any illegal shit, they doing just fine, Bro Sanchez. You just blowing smoke, and it ain't even good smoke.
It's like being a goddamn rapper today.
How you gonna fuck? Come on, man. I swear, something happened in this cat's life that he's sorry he didn't go down that lane. I think he's trying to make up for lost time. And he's trying to relive something that he couldn't live because he chose to be security or whatever, or go in the military or whatever. You know what? You can't blame the fact that you didn't do what you wanted to do at a young age to try and relive it now and try to compare a cop to a rapper. How is that? How does that work?
Some shit. It's really, I'm glad I'm out of it, man.
No, you're not, because you didn't leave willingly. They had to get rid of your ass.
But this was a whole trip right here. It just show you they don't respect your authority. So which goes back to here, you got a black.
No, it don't. You showed that shit for no fucking reason. The comparison was way the fuck off. See, because he never said for sure who called it in, because he ain't gonna play the video. He just want to get that little message out and put out his black person sorrow rhetoric so we can form this opinion around his fucking shit. And it's a damn shame 27,000 people following this cat and agree with it. That's a damn shame. I guess if he get the jab, y'all getting it too, right?
Black security guard. I believe if this was a white security guard, they would have complied. But they don't see authority.
Hold on, didn't Lurch get hit in the stomach?
They see the nigga telling me what
He
to
ain't
do.
gonna play that part.
This nigga think he is.
He ain't gonna play that part. First of all, the man wasn't a security guard. Second of all, he had a crew member that was there, a 60-year-old kid. They got punched in the stomach. So yeah, the same goes for white people that touch other people's shit. If you touch a white person's shit and you white, you liable to get your ass kicked too. The same thing goes with black people. If you touch a white person's shit and you black, you liable to get your ass jumped. If you touch a black person's shit and you black, you liable to get your ass beat. You see what I'm saying? It goes that way for all things when people respect their shit and you don't.
You know what I'm saying? They don't see your badge. They see your skin color. And that's unfortunate, man. And that's one of the flaws of America, of the world, man. Racism.
You know what the flaw of America is that you misusing your freedom of speech. You misusing your First Amendment by telling lies. See, you part of the propaganda scheme that we've been going through for the past 10 years, fucking around with Obama, who made that shit law that the media and the fucking social media can fucking lie to people and get away with it, because it used to be against the law back in the day. You couldn't just lie over the air, especially when it involves large numbers of people. But ever since then, right, they fucking changed the shit. We got everybody alive for money, for profit.
Racism. On both sides of the world, man. Racism. On both sides, too. But I will say that the black people involved in this situation were justified. And we got to give Aquaman a motherfucking trophy. That's for sure.
For attacking a man that wasn't even attacking it, that was just standing around, just blindly attack a motherfucker. Right?
So,
and see, and this is what I understand. We'll say, you don't touch my mama, you don't touch my folks, we jump you and shit. But when it's happening to somebody else, it's justified. You just gotta fit the demographics.
What? Oh, okay, yeah, we got to talk about the updates and prosecution going on behind this shit. Who going to jail and etc. I'm going to see if I see any white people in handcuffs. See if we can see any white folks in handcuffs.
You just saw a white woman in handcuffs, arrested in Montgomery, Alabama, Riverfront Brawl. He totally looked over that.
Cuffs.
Look, he ain't going to the first one. Why not? You know why? Because right off the bat, he saw somebody in handcuffs. Look at the shit.
And etc. On behind this shit.
Look at the deviousness.
Who going to jail?
Look, why did he scroll past it after he saw that lady in handcuffs? And now he gonna go everywhere besides the one that shows a white lady in handcuffs that was involved in the arrest of the Montgomery, Alabama Riverfront Brawl. Watch him. Watch his cursor. Watch how it moves around the screen around that shit. He's gonna land
going on behind this shit. Who going to jail and etc.
Let's get away from that.
I'm gonna see if I see any white people in handcuffs.
Let's go all the way down here.
See if we can see any white folks in handcuffs.
I'm not gonna go to that one. Let's go to this one. Yeah. Okay, here we go.
It's the raw scene footage.
Well, you saw the white lady in handcuffs. Now what? See, when you get what you want, you just get speechless and shit. And see, this is why I don't.
Okay, I don't
like,
see no. Okay, I do see a white woman in cuffs though.
Yeah, at the beginning of the.
So they got the white woman in cuffs who was involved. This is gonna turn. Let me tell you what's gonna happen with this thing.
Here you go.
It's gonna be deep. What's gonna boil over after this is gonna be way bigger than the actual brawl itself, because this may turn into protest in the street and all that, depending on how they prosecute.
No shit. This is why they show you pieces of it so it can spark a protest. And the reason why it's going to spark a protest is because the reaction of it is not what everybody expect. Especially when you got this motherfucker right here. When you got this motherfucker right here. Right?
Yeah.
When you got,
so if you're over 40 and haven't achieved,
I'm not gonna do that, man. Especially when you got this man right here. Come on, man. What's the deal? That's not gonna go over too well. Especially when they review this shit and find out.
Is that guy in the white shirt is crew from our little dinner cruise boat who got off our ship to go over there to move that black pontoon boat on his own because those guys.
And by the way, that's the lady that was in handcuffs right there running across the pier, because she's going to alert them that they're moving your boat. They're untying your boat.
Who parked there were told not to leave it there, and they left it there. So he's just pushing it off. That's funny.
After he let the boat hit their boat, he gonna tie it down. He should have been stopping that boat. And look, Lurch over here, he ain't even trying to stop the boat from hitting the damn thing. He ain't even trying to tell him, hey, you come too close, you're gonna hit the boat. But this is the whole reason why that shit started. And see, if you knew this at the beginning, would it change your opinion about what all these fake ass conscious community motherfuckers are saying? Because I think the conscious community is actually the con community. It's the con community because they constantly telling us shit that's contradictory to what's actually happening. They'll feed us all this bullshit, make you feel good, pacify you, tear you down subliminally, and then on top of that, they'll tell you a lie. So I'm gonna leave it right there. I've been on this bitch for 2 hours. This is my second video like it. I had no power last time. It was more funny the last time. But look, I'm gonna load that video back up and I'm gonna let it play. And you can use that video and this one for commentary, because I guarantee you, man, I ain't gonna get no pushback on this shit. And if I do, it's gonna be some bullshit pushback. It's gonna be like, nigga, you don't know. But look, it ain't gonna be no real, actual pushback with evidence and logic behind it. It's just gonna be a get back if it is. But I know it's not gonna happen in the first place. But I more than welcome it. I more than welcome it. Sanchez know where I stand. He grown, I'm grown. I ain't gonna hold my tongue. But see, I ain't gonna play on the same playing field as you, Sanchez. I'm not gonna come over to your bullshit ass channel and try to talk to you, because all you be doing is playing a dozen and being a fucking internet Nazi. So look, we could do this all day right here, and I'll point out every fucking discrepancy that you make, because that's what it is. It's a big ass discrepancy. So until next time, salutes. Only the truth shall prevail.